Hello, I'm your host, Trisha Arnold. Since its inception in 2015, the Linda Mae Mann Lima Foundation has sought out stories of Elk Grove area veterans who died in service to our country. In 2023, we share the story of Cooper Tahara, who attended Elk Grove Elementary and graduated from Elk Grove High School. Cooper was a member of the segregated Japanese-American 442nd Regimental Combat Team, which was the most decorated unit in the history of the U.S. Army for size and duration. They received 7 Presidential Unit Citations and 21 Medals of Honor. There were at least 5 Japanese-American Elk Grove High School graduates who served in that regiment: Tosh Keino, Hiro Oshida, Tom Nakao, Tosh Hamataka, and Cooper Tahara. Cooper's story is narrated by David Lima.
Cooper T. Tahara was born on November 8, 1919 in Florin, California. Cooper was the third born of 8 siblings. His father had immigrated from Hiroshima Prefecture, Japan in March 1900, his mother in 1904. Cooper attended Elk Grove Elementary School and graduated from Elk Grove High School. He was a member of the Florin Buddhist Young Men's Association and the Florin Athletic Club. Cooper graduated from the National Diesel Mechanic School in Los Angeles to become a mechanic, and he also continued to help out on the family farm. He registered for the draft on June 9, 1941, and was inducted into the Army at Sacramento on October 20, 1941. He received his basic training at Camp Roberts, San Luis Obispo, and was later stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas, Fort Meade, Maryland, and Camp Shelby, Mississippi. The Tahara family was incarcerated at the relocation camp in Rober, Arkansas on June 10, 1944. They were later relocated to the relocation camp in Jerome, Arkansas, and released in April 1945. Cooper arrived at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and was assigned to the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, 3rd Battalion I Company in September 1944, which was 5 months after the original 442nd soldiers had left for war. He was one of 672 replacements sent to Italy to replace combat losses from the Rome-Arno campaign. On September 26 and 27, 1944, the 442nd, including the new replacements, boarded light assault boats which shuttled them out to waiting transport ships. At precisely 12 p.m. on September 27, 1944, the regiment sailed for Marseille, France. Ahead lay the most bitter fighting the men were ever to see. The troops went ashore on September 30th. By the following morning, most of the unit had moved about 10 miles by train to a staging area just outside Marseille. At this time, the staging area consisted of several open fields on the top of a hill. Living conditions for the first 2 or 3 days were not especially bad, although the wind blew constantly. All companies drew new machine guns, mortars, and bazookas, and proceeded to test them on whatever suitable ground could be found. On the afternoon of October 26, 1944, the regiment was ordered to the front lines again to aid in the rescue of the Lost Battalion, which was the 1st Battalion of the 141st Texas Infantry Regiment. This battalion had gotten ahead of the lines and was surrounded on 3 sides by the enemy. Attempts by the 141st and other units to free itself had been unsuccessful, so the 442nd was assigned the mission. The initial objective of the Texas Lost Battalion had been to clear the Germans from the entire long, densely forested ridge when it had become surrounded. After the rescue, the 442nd's 3rd Battalion was ordered to continue the push on to the end of the ridge. On November 5, 1944, PFC Cooper Tahara was killed by sniper fire during this action to take the ridge from the Germans. The hospital admission card said that he was hit in the upper extremity scapular region by a bullet. The fighting on the mountain would go on for 5 more days, and although the German line was completely shattered, 442nd losses were so great that the combat team was temporarily ineffective as a fighting force. PFC Cooper Tahara was interred at the American Military Cemetery in Epinal, France. In 1947, the remains of Americans buried overseas began to slowly return to the U.S. if the family so wished. Cooper was brought home according to his family's wishes. His remains were among those of 6,785 war dead that arrived on March 9, 1949 at the Brooklyn Army Base in New York Harbor on the United States Army transport ship Barney Kirchbaum. On April 27, 1949, a funeral service for PFC Cooper was held at the Florin Buddhist Church, followed by burial in the Sacramento Memorial Lawn Cemetery in Sacramento. His parents were later buried in the same plot. For his military service, PFC Tahara was awarded the Bronze Star with 1 oak leaf cluster, the Purple Heart, Good Conduct Medal, American Defense Medal, American Campaign Medal, European African Middle East Campaign Medal with 2 Bronze Stars, World War II Victory Medal, Combat Infantryman Badge, and the Distinguished Unit Badge. In October 2010, he was awarded the Congressional Gold Medal, along with other veterans of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. This is the highest congressional civilian medal. PFC Tahara's Bronze Star Medal was posthumously received by his parents from General Joseph W. Stilwell, the former commander of Allied forces in the China-Burma-India Theater, during an appreciation banquet for Nisei soldiers held at the Whitcomb Hotel in San Francisco on the first anniversary of VE Day, May 8, 1946. The award read, quote, "For heroic achievement in connection with military operations against an enemy of the United States in France. On 5 November 1944, during an advance near La Houssier, France, Private First Class Tahara's company was pinned down by enemy machine gun fire from 2 concealed emplacements. With deadly automatic rifle fire, he dispersed one crew and forced the other to abandon its position. When the enemy launched a fierce counterattack the following morning, he vigorously defended an exposed flank of his company and stood his ground to cover withdrawing comrades until wounded mortally by hostile fire. Private Tahara's aggressiveness, his unselfish actions, and supreme devotion to duty live on as an inspiration to the men with whom he fought."
This story, a production of the Linda May Mann Lima Foundation, was researched and written by the sons and daughters of the 442nd Regimental Combat Team and is protected by copyright. For other stories produced by the Foundation, please visit our website at lmmlfoundation.org.